Alright guys, we're picking up where we left off. We have a game that when we play it, we have a balloon that goes down the path. If you click the balloon, it will pop. And we would like to make more balloons. We don't just want to have one balloon, so I want to have multiple balloons that can float down the path. So if you see here, you have this path 2D. Connected to the path is a follow node, and then connected to the follow node is a green balloon. So we're going to need to create some code that creates more follow nodes and more balloons that are attached to the path. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by getting rid of this old follow node. Remove. So now we have no follow node. And we're going to save our scene, and we're going to create a brand new scene. So we got rid of the follow node, so we're going to make a new one. So custom node and path follow 2D. That's what we're going to create. We're going to call this cart. I'm going to call this cart. This cart is like what's going to ride on our path. And inside of this cart is what we're going to put the balloon in the cart, and the balloon's basically going to ride in the cart as it goes around. So I'm going to save my scene, so Control S, and I have a scenes folder, and I'm going to put it in the online tutorial, and I'm saving my cart scene. Inside of this cart scene, we need inside of this follow node, we're going to add a script to tell it what to do. I'm also going to tell this where I want to save it. So I want to save this in my scripts scene, or my scripts folder under online tutorial. Alright, create. So this cart, this follow node, this is going to hold our balloon. Okay, so our first line of code here, I'm going to put we are programming the follow node. Okay. Now inside of the follow node, we want to put a balloon in there. So we're gonna have to load the balloon so we can actually put it in the cart. So on ready, we want a variable. And inside, and we're gonna load the green balloon. So I'm gonna do green. So on ready, make a green variable and put the balloon in there. So preload the green balloon scene. So you see there, I have a lot of scenes to choose from. This is why it's really important to actually put them in the correct folders, etc. So online tutorial, and I'm looking for my green balloon scene, so there it is. So my location is scenes, online tutorial, green balloon scene. Alright, so I was able to find it. So I have loaded my green balloon scene. This loads my green balloon scene. Okay, got the green balloon scene. Now I want to actually add it. The ready function plays at the start of the cart being created. So plays one time when the object is created. Okay, so when it's first created, we are going to want to put this object into the cart. So we're going to make another variable, and we're just going to call it x is equal to green dot instance. And you'll notice that it's filling stuff in here for me. So this puts the scene green into X. Alright, then we're going to do self dot add child, yes, add child, and then X. And this adds the X child to the node. There we go. Alright, so we loaded our green balloon scene. Then we put it into the variable X, and then we added it to our self. And the our self in this case is the follow node, or the cart is what we're calling this. Alright, now this is not going to get us all the way there, but basically we've created a cart, and inside of the cart we're going to put the green balloon, and I'm calling the cart a 2D node, or I'm calling the 2D node a cart. So that's what I'm talking about here. So we have this scene here. Let's see if we play it. Will it actually do it? Let's see. Yep, I can see that there. Now it's not in the right spot or where you can see it, so I'm going to move it. Now when I run this, you'll see that there it is. There's the follow node, and it called that balloon and put it in there. So cool. I'm going to put that back at center, and now we're going to keep going. Oops. So Control S will save this. I'm done with this. I don't need this scene anymore. Well, I'm going to turn off rotate. So right there I turned off rotate, so it's not going to rotate that balloon, or rotate the balloon inside of it. Okay, now we're coming back to our level 1 here, and we're going to go into this path node, and we need to add that cart scene to the path node. And we're going to do that through code because we want stuff to get created over and over. Alright, I would like to create this cart at the push of a button. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Project Settings, and under Action here we're going to make an action, and the action is going to be called Spawn. So I went to Project Settings, and then Input Map. So do Add, roll down to the bottom, hit this plus sign next to that, and we're going to choose a key for this. I'm going to use the F1 key. It's at the top of your keyboard, so push F1. Okay, close. Now we have a new function called spawn, and if we push F1 it will run that spawn function. Alright, so we don't need all this so much, so I'm going to get rid of this pass. I'm going to change this to pass. The comment for this is going to be nothing to see here. Keep going. On ready, this plays when the object is first created. Our function process delta, this plays every frame of the game. And before, this part here made our follow node move around the track. So this makes the follow node move around the path. Okay, we don't need that for right now, so I'm going to comment that out. We'll be bringing that back shortly. It's giving me an error. I'm going to put pass to get rid of my error. Nothing to see here. This used to grab the follow node. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to comment. Actually, no, I'll just get rid of this one. And this one here, we are programming the path 2D node. Okay. Now we're going to want to load in cart, that scene that we just created. So on ready, we want a variable, and this variable is going to be called, I'm going to go ahead and call it cart. Cart is equal to preload, and we're going to preload that cart scene that we just created. So that was in the scenes folder under online tutorial, and I think I called it cart. There it is. Loading the cart scene. And we're going to need a couple other variables. This loads the cart scene. Alright, I need another variable. I'm going to call this variable ready mode. This is just we're going to use this to tell us if we're ready to continue on doing what we're doing. So this creates a ready mode variable. Alright, and then I want one more variable, and I'm going to call this follower. No, I'm going to call this balloons. B-A-L-L-O-O-N-S. Balloons. And we're going to make this null. Creates a list of balloons. Cool. Alright. Let's start out by loading our cart just like we did in the other scene. So we did variable x is equal to cart dot instance. And then we are going to self dot add child x. So this one loads the loads cart into x, and this one adds the cart to, or adds x to itself, hooks it to the track. Cool. Alright, now we don't want to just create a million balloons. We don't want to just keep making a bunch of carts every single frame. So we're going to need to have some type of check here. So we're going to say if ready mode is equal to true. We want to do something. So if ready mode is true, this is going to say, are we ready to create balloons yet? Okay. And if we are ready to create balloons, we want to actually push a button to create it. So we're going to say if input is action just pressed. And that action we made at the beginning, we called it spawn. Okay. Alright. So if ready mode is true, and if we push the action spawn, and after we push spawn, it's going to add cart to the object. You know what? I actually need to take this out of this. We are going to use that ready mode, just not like that just yet. We're going to take this part and put this into the ready mode. This is when we're ready, we want to make the balloons move. That's what it is. So, but this part is correct right here. I'm going to pass this. We're not ready to keep going. We're not ready to do that just yet. Okay, so let's explain this. So if the action, if they push spawn, it should take the cart, load it into X, and then stick it on itself, so then it's ready to go. And after we have clicked that button, then that's whenever we want ready mode to turn on. So ready mode is going to equal true at that point. Okay, so if we push the spawn button, it's going to take the cart, get it loaded, then it's going to put it on itself, and it's going to say ready mode, we are ready. Let's start moving the balloons. Okay, so now this part here is where we need to tell it to actually start moving. If we tell it to start moving stuff, it's going to give us errors. Well, if we sorta, we're not ready to move stuff until we actually hit the button. Okay, so we need how we were moving the balloons around was we told it to grab the follow node and then move it, basically this part here. Well, now we're adding a bunch of different balloons. So like whenever we run this code one time, it's going to add hypothetically green balloon and then 1, and then we're going to push the button again and it's going to add green balloon 2, and then so on and so forth, and it's just going to keep on adding a bunch of different number of balloons, and eventually you're going to get up to like 50 and 60. I mean, there's going to be a lot of balloons in here. Well, this only moves one single balloon at a time. It moves one cart at a time. So we're going to actually need to store this stuff into a list, and our list is going to be balloons. So after it creates the cart and hooks it to itself, it's going to add it to a list that we made up there at the top called balloons. Balloons is equal to get children. Okay, so every time you click the button, it's going to find the children and just store them all into this balloons here. Now that we have that, so basically it's just gonna, it doesn't matter what it stores the name of the balloon as, even if it goes up to 1,000,000, it's going to be on this list. Now we want to tell it, if you're on this list, we want you to move around. So we're going to say for a in balloons, which is our balloons list, we want to do this part here. We want it to move around the track. So I'm going to get rid of this pass here. And that should get rid of my error, I think. I hope here in a second. If not, hopefully I'll figure it out. Okay, so for balloons, oh, I know why. It's because we don't have a follow node. This is our old one. Okay, so for A in balloons, so this is our list of balloons. Every time it runs through this loop, every time it runs through this for loop, it's grabbing A, which is one of the balloons, and we want to tell it to move around, not the follow node. So A, set its offset, and then get its offset and add some more to it. Alright, so now we have our list of balloons. This adds to our list of balloons. Puts cart on a list called balloons. Sets ready mode to true. Grabs each item, each cart in balloons. And this one, this makes the cart follow the path. That should be everything. And then this should say, did we press the spawn button? Alright, so I know that was a long one, but hopefully this should all work here. Save it, Control S, run your game. And a path, no balloon, but if I push F1, you spawn balloons. Now when you click them, they pop. And very useful stuff here. So now you can test your thing, and we have a way to spawn balloons, and now we can use things like timers and all kinds of stuff like that to spawn our balloons, and very satisfying. You can test your animations better, make new animations, make it when they click, maybe they melt, and yada yada. Alright, you guys have a good day. Talk to you later.